Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Norman, also known as King Julian. So we did a video earlier, and unfortunately the video went on the fritz, so I lost the unboxing part of this locomotive, which my family gratefully bought for me for my birthday, and which I have a very awesome family. My young son helped me unbox it earlier, and like I said, the video just went completely haywire. So that's what happened. So this is the Amtrak GE E60 number 965 with dual motors in it. It's got its pentagram. In fact, here's the one that he said was broke, but the springs there, I think I just got to put it back together. And he also sent extra traction tires and extra light bulbs, which is really cool, and it came with its original box. We got nice little graphics. Those do not feel like they're like laid on there. It actually feels like they're actually painted. The stripes feel like they're painted. Nice little details right here. That's actually metal handrails. We got metal trucks, plastic body. That's probably a weight of some type. I may modify that to actually bring it to more prototypical for the E60. And metal trucks here, knuckle couplers, dual lights, dual motors in it. It's got a little blemish on it, which, right up here, no big deal. Because this locomotive is going to get repainted, restriped, renumbered for the King Kepner Ranch train, because I was after to do a modern day take locomotive on the King Kepner Ranch as far as a cattle train. Excuse me. We have horns up here. I'm actually super stoked. My son and I are going to set up the track tomorrow to run it with the King Kepner cars that have already been done. I'm almost done with the pasture car, so hopefully I'll have that in there tomorrow after the services to get that in. I know a lot of people didn't really care for the GE E60, but I kind of do. It's kind of iconic in a way for Amtrak and the NDM. Now, I am a fan of the GG1, okay, but I was after a modern day take. This locomotive was actually modeled after a GE locomotive. I cannot find any more information on it other than where it has said it was modeled after one, but I cannot find any more information as far as to, exactly what locomotive. So that'd be kind of interesting to find out and just see if it would ever be feasible to convert one of these, say, from overhead electric to diesel, just to keep it preserved and on the rails. That would be kind of interesting to find out. I know there is one in Williams, Arizona at the state railway that is actually going into preservation. I have seen it, but I have not been able to get up close to it yet. And it's actually really nice. It still has the NDM lettering on it. So that's really cool. So a little bit of a brief history on this locomotive. There was 30 years of operation on this locomotive. Now, on some of the websites, they say there were 79 in total ordered, and some websites say there was less. I'm not too sure, so we're just going to go by the numbers that I have gotten so far. The E60 came in 3 different versions. One website will tell you 2, but there was actually 3. But I'm going to go with 4, and I'll get to the 4th one in a second, and I'll tell you why. So the E60 originally came as a 63-foot, 21-inch, or 19.25 meters locomotive, and it was actually a single cab. Your next one was the E60C-2, came in at 70 feet, 10 3/4 inches, or 21.61 meters. And then your last one that everybody seems to find is the E60 CP, 71 feet, 3 inches, and that came in at 21.72 meters. Now, in case you're wondering about the different classifications, the E60 CP meant that it had a steam boiler for your older passenger cars that required steam that Amtrak would inherit from the other railroads that would wind up going bellying up, like Penn Central. Yeah, I know that's a sore spot with model railroaders. And then the E60CH, which would come with HEP or head end power, however you want to call it. Now, the reason why I say there was actually four, Amtrak did something on the last 14 they had in stock and rebuilt them. And they got reclassified from just an E60 to an E60MA. So I don't know what they mean by mass alternative. I have been trying to get more information on it. Amtrak is not releasing any more information. So I don't know if it was pantograph and maybe a diesel motor in here as well, or what they did. Because their biggest fault was passenger service. These locomotives were big, they were massive, they were designed heavy, and they would just go side to side, and they would derail. Not this locomotive's fault. Why? Well, passenger cars are very, very light. The E60 was designed for freight service. Under freight service, they flourished, and they were just a great locomotive under freight service. Their max speed was 72 to 120 miles per hour, or 116 to 193 kilomiles an hour. Power output was 6,000 horsepower. It does not say which one, it just says 6,000 horsepower, so I'm guessing that's probably going to be for all of them. Its tractive effort, starting tractive effort, was 75,000 pounds of force to 125,000 pounds of force. That's a lot of tractive effort. Its continuous effort was 34,000 to 82,000 continuous force. That is impressive for an electric locomotive. Now, the ones that were retired, believe it or not, 965, 960, there was a bunch of them that had been retired from Amtrak in 2003. I did not find out exactly how many they said, but all were retired by 2003. Black Mesa and Lake Powell, well, they hung in there for a while. Their last one retired in 2019. That's pretty cool. Desert Power Railroad does not say. We know NDM only ran a couple of them. The rest of them actually sat and were traded back to GE for diesel locomotives, and some were sold to other companies such as the Navajo Mine Railroad and Texas Utilities. Navajo Mine did run them, along with New Jersey Transit. The last one was retired in 1998. And the Texas Utilities, which retired their last one in 2011. That's very impressive to see them. 30 years of service, and they were just retired. Now, according to the website, there are several still active. 3 in preservation, which I know one of them is at Steamtown in Pennsylvania. And all the others were scrapped. So if there's still some active out there, I would like to see them, one or two of them, put back on the rails, even if they convert it to diesel, just to let it be on the rails again. The Black Mesa and Lake Powell ordered 6 in 1972 to 1976. They were single cabs and would later be replaced with the E60-2. They replaced them with 5, and only one single cab survived with the Black Mesa. Amtrak wound up ordering 26 of these in 1974 to 1976. CP, which is your steam boiler, they ordered 7 and the HEP power units of 19. That's pretty impressive to see Amtrak ordered that many. The NDM would order 39. They were the one that took the possession of most of them, which is very cool because if I get another one of these, it will be lettered in the NDM and painted correctly. They ordered the E60 C-2 from September of 82 to December of 1983. And all of those would later wind up be sitting. The project was scrapped after 3 years, and the lawnmower were traded back to GE for diesels, and some were sold off. So there's a little bit of history on the locomotive for you. And this model, she's heavy. I ain't gonna lie, very, very heavy, which I find very cool. That means it can pull. This is, like I said again, this is the dual motor. Very, very little runtime on her. She'll need a good oiling and a good cleaning, but that's nothing major. The windows, like I say, the little scuff mark right there, which, hey, that happens. Windows, you can see it's got some little details in it. I don't see anybody in here, so don't see anything people-wise. No big deal. I'm actually super stoked with this locomotive. I'm going to do some scale conversions. I want to see what class this actually falls in with, because this is an actual scale locomotive. So I want to see which class of reality locomotive does this fall in with. I think the King Kepner Ranch train's going to look very good with this behind it, or pulling it. Will there be another locomotive for it later on? Of course there will be. Of course there'll be another locomotive for the King Kepner Ranch. But I wanted a modern day take for the model, and this was it. Super, super stoked. Again, tomorrow, after I get back from the memorial service, my son and I, we will set up the track and hook up some freight cars to it and passenger cars and let it run. Hopefully this one doesn't have the actual same problem as the real one. Put a passenger car behind it, it flies off the rails. That'd be funny though. It's a recreation of Amtrak. But yeah, I think it's gonna be one that's gonna be really well enjoyed, and over time will truly just continue to grow on everybody. So, like I said, I want to get another one pull the coal train drag, which the one I want is be relettered for NDM. Everybody on the forum has said stay away from the single motors because they can't pull, but the double motors will pull anything you ask them to. This is a later version, so this one should pull very nicely. A couple others I'm watching just to see what they wind up going for. And who knows, I may wind up buying a couple more because I actually kind of like this one. I'll just call it the ugly duckling and be done with it and just say, okay, yeah, it may be the ugly duckling, but she's a good one. I'll get her cleaned up tonight and get ready to put her on the rails tomorrow. As always, please keep the shiny side up. Have a great weekend. Please hit like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next video. Y'all have a great night.